Good morning, Funsters. Today is our last day together, and it's our day to catch up with Jesus as we make way for him in our life. And today's story is from the Gospel of Luke. And he said to them, "Suppose one of you has a friend to whom he goes at midnight and says, 'Friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread, for a friend of mine has arrived at my house from a journey, and I have nothing to offer him.' And he says from within, 'Do not bother me. The door has already been locked, and my children and I are already in bed. I cannot get up to give you anything.' I tell you, if he does not get up to give him the loaves because of their friendship, he will get up to give him whatever he needs because of his persistence. And I tell you, ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened for you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened. What father among you would hand his son a snake when he asks for a fish, or hand him a scorpion when he asks for an egg? If you then, who are wicked, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will the Father in heaven give the Holy Spirit to those who ask him?" So today, God is kind of telling us about the power of prayer. That's really what Jesus is getting at, and the importance of prayer in our life. Let me just tell you a story in my own life about prayer. When I was a priest for about 6 years, I was in my second assignment as a priest. I was a place called St. Joseph in Medway. And when I was about 8 months, I got a call from our bishop, and the bishop is the person who's in charge of the diocese. And he asked me to come in and talk to him. So I did. And the bishop asked me if I would consider leaving my parish to go back to school so that I could become the director of the office for worship. It's an office in the diocese. Well, there was one problem. I'll be really honest. I don't particularly like going to school. And so the bishop said, "Why don't you take some time, take about a week and pray about it?" And so I said, "Sure." So I did. I started praying about it, and about a week went by, and I still didn't feel like I had an answer from God, what he wanted me to do. I was praying really hard. I was praying in all different ways, but I just didn't seem to be able to hear God. So I had to keep seeking. I had to kind of keep knocking to really understand what God wanted me to do. And so I called the bishop. I said, "I still don't have an answer. Could I just have a few more days?" And he was like, "Sure." So it happened that Sunday, this was during Lent, we were doing adoration, praying before Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. And so as I was sitting there praying, looking for the right answer, I had been looking all along for why I should leave. And this question came into my head, and I knew it was from God. And the question was very simple. Why should you stay? And in that moment, I knew exactly what God wanted me to do, which was to do what I didn't want to do, which was to leave and go back to school. But in that moment, I had my answer from God. And why did I have my answer? Because I kept seeking. I kept knocking. I kept trying to understand what God wanted me to do until I got the answer. Now, it doesn't always come that way for everyone. There's lots of different ways that God answers my prayers. And sometimes he answers my prayers is to tell me, "No, that's not what I'm going to do. That's not what's best for you. You need to do something else." But the important thing is to recognize God always answers our prayers. Always. But the thing is, we have to be willing to hear what it is God's trying to tell us. We have to seek, we have have to knock, we have to be persistent. And we have to be able to be willing to hear the answer that we don't want. That's the most important part of prayer, is being willing to hear the answer we don't want to hear. But if we're willing to do that, God will always answer our prayers.